filming now? Sure?
Yep.
Lights on?
We're live.
We're live? Can't see nothing. So I got some tools. I got a cam advance holder. I got a pair of fuel gauges. 20 thou. Appears you're a little short. Did you hear that clink when it went down?
Mm-hmm.
That means you don't have 20 thou. So you're under 20. Is the plug back in the hole over there so I can spin the motor around?
It is, yeah.
I can spin?
Yeah, the plugs.
Check this one. Yep, we're high on this side also. Okay, so the point plate's in the wrong spot. Okay, I'm gonna come back around again. Okay, Phillips screwdriver out. Should be a dot coming up somewhere. Hold on, I gotta get this plug back up.
Alright, no dot. Alright, dot's dead center.
Dead center right now?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna come over here. And we advance this cam all the way. And the point should just crack as you hit it, as you get there. See how it's hard to do when everything's assembled? Especially when you're in the wrong spot. So that's how you're supposed to do this. So your timing is slightly off, but close. Your point gap is worn. Your points are worn, so they need to be opened back up again too. Alright, so put the plug back in the hole. So before that dot came around, there should have been a lazy 8 on the flywheel. That means it's an figure 8 that's made sideways.
Okay.
On the flywheel, about this much in front of that area.
Okay.
That denotes that you have late flywheels in this motor. Because a dot is a timing mark for an early motor, for a late motor, not an early motor.
I didn't see that other mark you were talking about.
There should be a line right now in the hole. And if not, there's a dot. Because you had the wrong flywheels for the year.
Right, it is a dot.
So, so you have different flywheels. But there should be a lazy 8 symbol in front of where you're at to denote it's a late flywheel. Then the timing mark's reverse, because top dead center on this bike is the line. On an early bike, that's the timing mark. The dot is the top dead center mark.
Okay.
So this is opposite. Okay, so right now I get the hole back to plug up so I can turn it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is adjust our point gap. We'll turn the motor over until the points are open. I'm going to loosen this point plate up and go ahead and readjust this stuff. And this thing is cranked way, way advanced. See how it's all bottomed out in the slot to get the timing mark where it needs to be, which is not correct either. So that means you got some mismatched components that are causing some errors, which is not uncommon. Okay, I need a medium screwdriver, flat blade. That one. There's the one I want, way over there. Got oil on it for some reason. Okay, so we gotta loosen these up. Back this thing up a little bit. There it goes. A little tension on them. You have to get the camera, you can see all this. Yeah. See, what you do is, I can't work when you're like this, so we have to come back here, and they have this thing called a zoom that you can zoom in what I'm doing. See? Okay, so we got the point. Needs to be on the point cam, which we're kind of on right now. Okay, now we take this plate. This lever's in the way. I got light tension on these bolts. Move the plate just a little bit. That centers up the cam, the plate, because the plate is free to float around a little bit. So you always want to have the plate in the same load position so that you can adjust it and it'll stay adjusted. Otherwise, as soon as you move the plate, the points will go up and down a bunch and screw everything all up. Okay, so right now we're in the points, so we need to get some gap in here. Now these should be 18 to 22. That means you want to be at least 20 on a U set, if not 22. You are way under that. So we need to unadjust that. The other thing we gotta do is get this condenser out of the way. Your brake pedal's in the way too. Because we need access to the point lobe over here to hold it. Okay, so there's your screw and your washer going away. Okay, it's alright. Okay, we'll get that up out of the way. Okay, this screw here is one that tightens up the points a little bit. Oh, that was tight. And then right here you got a little dimple and the thing to wedge your screwdriver into. So you can move the points open a little bit. And get some gap in there. Okay, that's a slightly loose 20, which is fine because 22 is the number we need. Okay, see now we're in there? We're good. Okay, now we turn around and check the other lobe. It's common for them to be different. Loose is okay, tight is not. Okay, those are actually pretty close. That's probably within an hour or so. Okay, so now we got the point gap set. So now we do a timing set. So now you bring it around. You make sure you're on compression strokes. You put your finger over in the hole. Suction. Blowing, I mean. Okay, so now you bring it around. Okay, now this tool here is what holds this point a little fully advanced. So you just rotate it, pinch it down. That holds it fully advanced. Now you can go around until the point just open. We have to be on a time mark though. So go on the other side. Let's see where time mark we're at. Coming up.
All right, the dot is right there, dead center.
It's in the center right now?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll go back slightly. Yeah, we'll leave it there. I'll just open the points up more. Okay, so now we come over here. So we have to open the points, turn the plate until the points just crack. And this is probably too big to get in there, I bet. Now we can put something in here that we can actually see this happening, which would make it easier. Or we just do it by eyeball. You get all your junk in the way over here. While I tighten these down. That's all right. So you want to keep light drag on the screws here so the plate stays where it was for the points to stay the same. I want to run the points, the time marks at the back of the hole, but if I have the points slightly open, it'll be about the same thing. Understand that? Probably not.
Getting there.
Just open there, I think. Yep. See how they closed a little bit when I did that? See how they open up? So you got a lot more timing in stock right now. See how it opens up?
Okay.
So if you have a test light on there with ignition on, or you can have the ohm meter on here without the ignition on, and you can check to see when the point just opens, or you can put a real piece of thin something there, a little piece of baggy material or something that's only a thou or two thick, some real thin paper or something like that in there. As soon as it cracks, it'll pull out. one of those deals. So right now we got a lot of timing kicked into it. So I'm going to leave it where it is for me because I wanted extra timing. We can find out how much it is here in a few minutes. Okay, so now I got to do is back the motor up a little bit. If the bike was in the air, I could do it easily, but it isn't, so I'm going to have to manually do it. Yank on it. Well, there it is. See, that's the back of the hole now. Okay, let's see if that's enough to make it plug fire. Where's your plug wires at? Now, you don't know what coil you have either, which is a problem. There we go, it says right back there, but we can't read it. My guess is you have the wrong coil.
Wouldn't be surprised.
There's a bunch of writing on the back side of the coil. There's a bunch of white stuff back there that I can't see. See it down the side down in there?
Yeah.
That means it's probably says electronic on there or something stupid. We'll have to check that here in a couple minutes. For now,
Looks like some numbers.
Numbers might be good if it says -65 numbers on it. Okay, so there's your spark plugs.
Yep.
So if you cut the electrode off, it gets a big zap. You can see it pretty good. Otherwise, we'll just put it up here where I can see it this way. And that'll spark over just fine. You got our battery hooked up yet? Nope. Bet you were going to hook that up. Okay, this is a plus over here. All right, where's your
It's on that side.
wrench?
Right here.
That's our 10. So you got crappy wire. More crappy wires. I don't know which one's which, so we're just going to hook them together. One's alternator, one's ignition switch, probably. You gotta make sure these are up high enough that they don't eat into the battery box.
The brake.
Is that a hot wire or a cold
Brake
wire?
light.
Yeah, well, brake lights are not supposed to be on full time. So what's this wire doing?
It runs down. It's down here.
If it hooks it to the battery, it's going to be 100% full-time hot. I know we don't want that. That will drain the battery. Okay, so the problem we have right now is that this cable is at an angle like this on the post,
Yep.
and it will never tighten up like this. So this battery requires some kind of a spacer, or you have to bend a dog leg in the cable.
Should we take this spacer off since we're not going to need it on this side?
Is there a spacer over there?
Yeah, right here.
That's the one we need. That leaves very little room for threads too, which is not good. Look out.
I'm going to lose it if I try to do that with one hand.
We need a longer bolt. See how long this bolt is?
Yeah.
How many threads you have? Not very many. That's not enough to power up a whole battery with electric start.
Okay.
Your kickstart only? No, your electric.
Electric.
So we're going to have a longer bolt in here to make this actually work. We don't even have one diameter with the threads in there, which is a 1/4 inch, basically. See how it's not even tightening, it just pulls the threads. They won't even tighten up enough to tighten up. No, it's not even going to tighten up, the bolt's going sideways.
Okay.
Okay, so let's put this right here for now. Where's your ignition? Good key?
Yeah. Shit, it's been so long I don't even remember which key it is.
It's the one that fits in this hole over here and it
Yeah.
turns. That's the one that we want. You need longer bolts than these two. "100% headlight, huh? Nice. Battery drain. Okay, we got power over here to the ignition now. Nope. Is there a kill switch someplace?
No, just the ignition.
Okay, points weren't open yet. See our ignition now, see. Alright, so I can't time it because it's timing's further than I want it to be right now. So I need to back up the timing a little bit. Let's see, this one here will do it. So we backed it up a little bit more. There we go. A little drag on those. Remember all that? Turn the fully advanced cam on. Now we rotate the plate until we hear the ignition go pop. You'll also see it right over here. I saw the point flash. I don't know why the coil didn't flash, but and that is a wimp. Why is it not sparking like it was? See, before it was sparking a lot louder.
Yeah, it's real quiet. Here we go.
Condenser's not engaged. Gotta have a working condenser. Here, push your finger right there. So it's got insulation to it. There we go. I'm gonna quit. Battery's dead too. The light's getting dull. Okay, well anyway, it's firing what it's supposed to.
Okay.
Turn that off. Okay, so the points are set now.
Okay.
Lock them down. Right now we get the time mark all the way to the back of the hole on the other side. We put more advance in it. When you go all the way to even with a hole like that, it's 4 degrees extra advance. If it's behind the thread, it's 5 degrees. So we're right at 4 degrees right now, extra timing, which will make the bike run better. But you gotta run good gas, or at least better than if it was retarded. Now this thing here, why do they put this thing together like this? You always want to put that between the spring wire. This wire usually comes up on this other side, not here. See how they have this insulator block in here? See that?
Mm-hmm.
You know why that's in there?
No, why?
Because they have this in backwards. It doesn't go there. See, it goes up in shorts, kills ignition. Put this all together wrong. is hard to do with the points assembly. You have room. This is supposed to be going the other direction, so the wire hangs down low, away from everything. You have to have the points out to do this, I guess. You can hold it enough like that, maybe. This thing needs to be held up. See that connection?
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. That's called not a positive connection. This is supposed to be flat. So, this terminal has got issues. See, it's worn out when it gets in there. At least now it's kind of connecting, but that's enough to cause high RPM misfire because it's barely got connection going. See, it goes in tight. It goes in tight, but then gets loose. Eh?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I can cheat and bend it a little bit. Get a little extra. Oh, that made it worse. Bend it more. I'm bending it. Oh, that ain't helping it. So this is bad stuff. You need to get rid of all this junk and put a real ignition here anyway, but there, it's tight now. Okay, so this goes under here now. Upside down, goes like that. See, it sticks in there like this. That's how it's supposed to be. It's a pain in the ass to do when it's on the bike. See, that stupid thing won't stay up. So I gotta get this in there like that. What it needs to be. Bent around. There it goes up. Okay. Stuff that in that one. Okay. So now it's rubbing against a spring, which is part of the connection, so it doesn't matter. And you put this one in there between the spring and that top plate. Like that. That in there? Nope, that's not in there. Oh, should get up here I can see. I can see I wasn't in the right spot, see? Yeah, this here's in the way a little bit. That goes down there. Now see, you don't have that problem with it shorting because now it's in there correctly. Plus you got access to your hardware here to get to it easier, and you have access to turn this. See how now you can see this?
Mm-hmm.
Before it was buried because they had it wrong. So it helps to do everything correctly. Okay. Got a little screw here. Hold that lever for me down. So when there's a hole down there, there it is. You want to make sure you don't pinch any wires on here when you're tightening this. It looks to be good. Okay, load it up. Okay, that goes in there like that. You want to make sure there's a gap between the condenser and that. That's pretty high. He's nowhere near that high. I don't know why that thing is so close, but could probably get in here and bend it a little bit. Like that, get a little clearance. See, I got more gap.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure this is not being pushed directly on the sharp edge here, which is like against that, yeah, the terminal sticking out.
Right.
Make sure that doesn't press against that. So we got the gap there, everything got gap. This is all free to turn, not hit anything. We already pre-adjusted it, so that should be good. So now all we do is check our point gap and see if we lost it. You got the top load there. What are you doing?
I thought we were checking.
Point gap's on this side. That's a timing mark over there. We already had it timed.
Gotcha.
Now we're just checking our gap to see if we still have our gap.
Oh, okay.
See how it loosened up just a little bit? So we're about 22 now. Perfect. The higher number means you get some wear, so when it wears down, it still runs. When it gets down to under 18, it starts to burn up condensers and misfiring. So this thing probably misfired quite a bit with that terminal being real loose like that. So I'm not sure if we moved the timing any. I think we moved it just a little bit, but not much. At least this is all correct here. We gotta leave the cover off and see how much arcing we get at the points. If you get a lot of arcing at the points, the condenser's bad, or you got the wrong coil or wrong plug wires or wrong spark plugs. If you put all that resistor stuff in there, it puts a lot of feedback to the points and burns them up. Understand? Okay, we already have hydraulics, so this is already in here, so I'm just gonna put these back on there. Make sure you always rotate just like that, top and bottom. Anything in between the seals will swish out and shouldn't leak, hopefully. Medium screwdriver is what you use for this. See how easy that is. Make sure your inner cover is up. Don't just put the clip in there without the cover being up. It will definitely leak. And yes, I have seen that done more than once. Okay, those are in there. All right, so the valve should be adjusted. This should all be adjusted here. So all this stuff here should be good. So now we start it up and see what it does on this side. All right, let's go work on the other side. Shut that off.